Week 35, and this is ELA W, day 14, I believe, of our narrative writing. And so everyone has received their due now, which is not much to do because it's just a reading that you should have begun, where you get to the notion of internal monologue. Now, we're going to talk about what exactly that means, and then eventually today you're going to get into your own narratives and start to add an internal monologue to your writing. So what does it mean, internal monologue? Internal, if I say internal, what do you think I'm talking about? Hopefully someone says inside or within you. And yeah, that's right. So just like internal conflict is conflict inside of you, internal monologue happens inside of you. So now we're stuck with monologue. Well, monologue sounds like what other word that we did for word of the day? You should think dialogue. What does dialogue mean? Hands up, Yadiel. I call on Yadiel. He says that dialogue means talking between two people. Good. Now, if we know that it's talking between two people, that's dialogue. Well, now the prefix has changed, so it's monologue. Now, if I tell you that mono means one, what do you think monologue might be? Dialogue is two. It means two people talking. If I say monologue is one, go ahead, Lodelis. You say one person talking. So now we got to put it all together. Internal means inside. One person talking. What do you think internal monologue is, Jefferson? Best answer of the year, Jefferson. You say that you think internal monologue is what we say to ourselves. That's right. And we're all doing it, some of us more than others. Some of us have internal monologues just flying all the time, thinking about what's going on, daydreaming. If you daydream, that's your internal monologue, just wandering around, taking a stroll through life, trying to have a little fun perhaps. Or maybe some people, your internal monologue at times can feel very dark and sad and bad, where you just have a day, maybe it's cold, maybe it's rainy, where your internal monologue is just telling you, this sucks. Hi. I'm sorry, I'm doing a...
No worries.
I'll explain.
Okay.
But,
Put this in. I'll put this in.
Okay, Mr. Ash is here for the...
Is it a video?
The deliverable. Yeah, I'm just sort of practicing a lesson that I'm going to give. I won't say this sucks.
Sorry to interrupt.
But... And we proceed. So internal monologue can be positive or negative depending on what you're working on. But anyway, we want you to include that in your story. What does that do to a story? I call on Jimenez. What does that do for our stories, do you think? Excellent answer, Ms. Jimenez. Thank you so much for participating. That's a great point, that it can add understanding of the character, and it can also build the internal conflict of our story. So if we're writing about the height of our narrative and we're saying, then the bully stepped into the room, and that's a good moment to pause for a second and really let your reader know what is going through the character's mind, what's going through your mind as the narrator. If you're writing in the third person, this can be an opportunity for you to... No, she's next door. This can be an opportunity for you to talk about what's going on in other characters' minds. So the monologue internal is important to your story because it gives your reader an understanding of the character, their feelings, as well as the conflict.